It's Friday, August 2nd. Welcome back to the Damon Brew Show, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. He's right over here. We'll tell you more about him. And if you see right above me, we're powered by BetUS. It's a big bet Friday. We'll tell you more about that in just a second. But welcome back to the Damon Brew Show. It is awesome to have you back here. Thanks for stopping on by. And look, we got to start with what used to be called a boutique issue with me. I did an awful lot of radio in my days, and very few times in my career was I ever pulled into a program director's office with a request or a question about why I was harping on something so often. One of the very few times Matt Nahagian, the program director of 95.7 The Game, ever had me into his office to just say, hey, can I pick your brain on something? He wanted to know what I had against Levi's Stadium. And I just said, look, man, all I can tell you is that I sat in Candlestick enough years to know that even though it was kind of a dump, it was still a special sacred place where the greatest football games of our lifetimes basically happened right there on that field. This is sacred ground. So if you're going to pull the team out of San Francisco to go all the way down to Santa Clara, you better be building a palace. One of the single greatest stadiums ever conceived of, ever thought of. And the very first night I walked into Levi Stadium, I went, are you kidding me? My very first question was, are they still building the thing? And I ask that every single time I walk into it still. Are they still building this? Are they still working on it? It doesn't look like they've put up the, facade, all the stuff on the outside of the stadium that makes it look like it's not about to fall over because it's an erector set. All of that stuff always rubbed me the wrong way. I hated that I would walk in and I'd see the word vegan. First thing, before I even saw the word 49ers, there was a vegan hot dog sign. I'm like, this is not setting the tone for an intimidating Sunday afternoon for the away fans. You know what I mean? I thought that the 400 level absolutely stunk. I thought that sitting with zero shade even available under a pounding hot sun while the rich side and the luxury boxes were all on one side, I thought the outside had the architectural appeal of a Walmart. I just thought it would be impossible to miss the mark more than the 49ers missed the mark on that stadium. And a lot of people agreed with me, but I kept talking about it and talking about it and talking about it to the point where Matt brought me into the office. He's like, can you please talk about something else? You're like a dog who will not let a bone go. And I'm like, all right, I guess I hear you. I do know that Levi Stadium is at the centerpiece of the breakup that Jed York and I went through. Jed York and I used to follow each other on Twitter. We would DM each other. We kind of palled around me more than any other palling around online or, DMing with any other owner I've ever covered. That's for sure. The day after I gave my Levi Stadium review, Jed York unfollowed me on Twitter. He didn't like what I had to say about his new palace. Well, apparently it's not just me. By the way, welcome everyone. There's a sip of the day candidate right off there. It's technically, I got the coffee a little late today, so it's just a touch hot. We might have to get to the official. It's a candidate. It's not the official sip of the day, but I can feel it coming on the horizon. For those of you who are betting on sip of the day, powered by BetUS. Anyway. A site called Brooksgate ranked every single professional stadium in America. Every NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA stadium. All the arenas were ranked. How were they ranked? What was the criteria? Well, that's where it's a little murky, right? I don't know. I don't get it. But it says it ranked the average rating on Yelp, Google, TripAdvisor, and Facebook data. So people go, they have an experience, they put their experience into the public domain on TripAdvisor, Google, Yelp, Facebook. And Levi Stadium came in ranked. There it is, all the way down in the lower corner, right there, in the lower right-hand corner, coming in at number 87. At number 87 of 90 stadia in America. Lambeau Field number 1. Look, a lot of people won't argue with that. PNC Park. It's one of the small handfuls of gorgeous ballparks that are the new ballparks. And what do you know? Camden Yards, Busch Stadium. I'm sorry, old Busch Stadium was better than the new Busch Stadium, but people love going to Busch Stadium, get treated well there. There is a whole bunch of very approachable price points for a family of four to go to a game and not get ripped off. And then there she is, Oracle Park. So clearly, just being in the Bay Area or having bad parking or having exorbitant prices, it's a factor in this, but it's not the only factor. So it's Oracle and then Lumen Field where the Seahawks play, which just kind of twists the knife in Levi Stadium just a little bit more. Then you got Fenway, Wrigley. Again, Fenway and Wrigley should probably be at the top of the list, but the only thing they're guilty of is being over 100 years old, and you can't have brand new amenities in something that old, and that's why you get PNC Park, Camden Yards, Busch, Oracle Park ranking above it. But all the way down there, Levi Stadium is just above Allegiant Stadium, so this must have something to do with, do you feel like it's even a home game? Because the Raiders will never play a home game inside of Allegiant Stadium. I was just there last year. I was impressed. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't buy the ticket. I didn't pay for anything. A buddy of mine really hooked me up with a VIP right this way. Very nice ticket. So I don't know what it costs to go to Allegiant Stadium, but I've heard it literally costs more money to go to a football game in Allegiant Stadium than any other stadium in the NFL. So maybe that's why it's so low. We see that the Golden One Center is right above Levi Stadium. The Golden One Center is fine. I don't know why it ranks so low. SoFi Stadium, look how low that's ranked. People must not like it. Again, Intuit Dome hasn't even opened yet. I don't know how it's getting crushed. Chase Center, again, this makes me think that price point, parking, convenience, public transportation to and from, all these things must get factored in because Chase Center is ranked incredibly low, and Chase Center is fantastic. It's an awesome building. It's got all the amenities. You just have to bring a very, very, very thick wallet stuffed with $100 bills in order to enjoy it all. Chase Center is... It's quite frankly, it's like the most expensive place I've ever been in my life. Like a double tall whiskey Coke is $42 in Chase Center. I'm not kidding. So there she is, Levi Stadium, all the way at the end, just ahead of Allegiant Stadium, which is that's rough. The Coliseum and where the Commanders play. So I guess my whole point was, it's not just me. It's not just me after all. Like, I know what fans want. I know what fans like. I know what a good stadium is. I know what modern's supposed to be. I know what amenities are. And I understand, look, there's a corner reserved over here that's the red rope corner. It's for the ultra rich, the ultra wealthy, the very well-to-do. And we're not allowed there, and I'm not allowed there, but we're not allowed there in any stadium. So how's parking? How's the concourse? How's everything? Like, I didn't like Levi Stadium the night it opened. I'm sorry. I didn't. I don't think you did either. The design leaves the entire stadium looking like it's incomplete. Like, again, those 400 level seats get cooked in the sun. Everything in there is set at ruin your bank account price points. You tailgate in like an office park parking lot. It does not speak to me. If it speaks to you, fantastic. But I'm telling you, you know what used to be an awesome football stadium? Soldier Field. Then they redesigned Soldier Field, and it absolutely sucks now. Soldier Field stinks. It looks like they landed a toilet bowl in it, and this is why the Bears are thinking about they need a new stadium soon, because everyone knows that they fucked up Soldier Field basically beyond repair, and they got nothing to do but tear it down now, and what are you going to do? That stadium's better than Levi's Stadium. Seriously. So I feel a little vindicated. I mean, I told you, it's a sterile, soulless stadium that could really be any team's stadium. And that's what I hate about it. The 49ers are not any team. San Francisco is not any city. Maybe you forget this when you leave the city of San Francisco. But they should have taken like things about the Niners in San Francisco and built them into that stadium. It looks like Hulu built a football stadium, or Facebook built a football stadium, or some soulless tech company built a football stadium. It could be a multi-purpose. Anyone could come in and use it. Like, I don't understand how a team that has got such glorious history could play in such an antiseptic Stadium. The only thing that saves it is Niners fans have finally gotten in there and made it loud because they have an exciting team to root for, and we will get to that exciting team here in just a second. But it's great to have you. Thank you. I feel vindicated. I feel very vindicated here. So thank you very much. I love a list that is poorly sourced that I can use to back up what I had to say. Anywho, thank you for being here. Hit like and subscribe. You hit that like button. It just helps YouTube push this video out more and more. You hit the subscribe button. Well, that means you're in the circle of love. You hit that notify button. You won't miss a thing that we do. And I would really appreciate it if you'd take it a step further and start hanging out with my sponsors, namely today at lunch. I don't know what your plan is. Plan something with Ike. What are you doing for lunch today? Have you got your lunch plans? If you don't, if you got the Ike app, go there. Get it ordered. Go pick it up. Ike's sandwiches are the best. If you think I got this runner's body eating just broccoli, you're out of your mind. I love Ike's sandwiches. I probably eat too many of those. I would eat one of those a day, every day, if my doctor didn't say you probably shouldn't do that. But look, you can skinny them up if you want. You can make a healthier sandwich. You don't need to put mozzarella sticks on everything. Or do you? Ike's. Go get yourself a sandwich. Bask in some love in sandwiches. And then get yourself a nice pint of Guinness at the Dubliner West Portal. My good friends Kenny and John are ready to take great care of you when you go on in. Tell them Damon Bruce sent me. They love hearing that. Their sponsorship here on the channel means an awful lot, so thank you very much to them. And again, we love our sponsors. They take care of us. I take care of them, and we have a brand new sponsor that we love taking care of and welcoming into the mix. We are going to start doing Big Bet Fridays, where we're going to have a little bet for you, where we're going to have a little something for you to put on the line on the weekend. And who knows, maybe come back with a little something on Monday. We have not done much gambling in public on this show. We're going to this year. We're going to have some fun. And I want you to go to betus.com because what you're going to find is that they got the fastest payouts in the industry. They got a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000, and you can make 3 deposits and they'll match you 125%. BetUS is fun. It's easy to use. The interface is fantastic. It's trustworthy. It pays fast. What more do you want? BetUS. Sign up today in the link that is in the description of today's show. Sign up for the BetUS link in the description of today's show, and that way I get credit for sending you there, and it makes the whole channel move around happier. So thank you very, very much for hanging out, for sponsoring. Ike's forever going to be my title sponsor, but BetUS is going to be appearing on Fridays and a couple of other times throughout the week as well. As we keep on telling you, you want to have a little fun? Go ahead. BetUS is a great place to start. Great place to start your gambling fun this upcoming season. And obviously, have fun. Don't get over your skis. That's officially the sip of the day right there. That was fantastic temperature. Again, 4 or 5 minutes of talking can get a temperature to come on down and just make it absolutely beautiful. So thank you very, very much for stopping on by. Let's get to the fact that we watched some football last night. We didn't get to watch a full football game. It feels like there's always something that brings the Hall of Fame game to some abbreviated version of what it used to be. Like either there's rubber pellets melting in the AstroTurf, or there's something wrong with the turf, or there's a weather event. It feels like we need to move the Hall of Fame game to somewhere other than outside the Hall of Fame because we have trouble getting a full game in there. But we don't need a full game. Let's be totally honest. We don't. I mean, everything you needed to know about the NFL's preseason was on full display. Nobody important plays, and if the game gets to around about the third quarter and everyone decides, it's a little rainy out here, do you want to even have like an hour rain delay? I think they called it in like 35 minutes. They're like, nah, you know what? It's preseason. Let's go home, everybody. All the suckers already bought their tickets. And that's it. They called it a game. What we wanted to see, though, in this game, more than anything else, more than I really even wanted to see Caleb Williams make his debut or anything like that, with C.J. Stroud coming out and showing us what he's going to have for his sophomore year with the Houston Texans, more than anything else, I wanted to see the new hybrid kickoff. And you know what we actually got? We got some returns. Now, nobody took one to the house. 7 of the 8 kickoffs that we saw in the Hall of Fame game were, let's call them live fire kickoffs. Like there was an actual return that happened. And if you watch this, all you can see is that what you're setting up is like you're looking for 3-on-4, 4-on-3 blocking situations where you can just carve a little lane out and a guy hits it and goes. Like nobody did anything with the new hybrid kickoff rule yet. But you can see the potential for big plays to erupt from this thing. At least I did last night. I am not here for any discussion about safety. Safety on a football field is a total red herring. There's really no point in you can't say that because of this, you're not going to get hurt doing this when you could literally be paralyzed on any single play of a football game. So there is no, that is definitely provably safer. Even all my math models, look, what is a really, really safe play only takes one person going down with a broken neck, and then it'll never be thought of as a safe play ever again. So that could happen on any play, so don't even sell me on the concept of safety. If safety was the concern, we wouldn't even be on the football field. So I don't want to hear that. I really don't. Can it be more exciting? Will this new kickoff be more exciting? Well, in terms of kickoff, yeah. And for comparison's sake, let's just go back to the very last game played under the old kickoff rules, which just happened to be a Super Bowl the 49ers lost against the Kansas City Chiefs. And in that game, not a single kickoff came out of the end zone. Every single one of them was a touchback. And that's really why they went ahead and made a change. They made a change because something essentially became automatic. The point after touchdown essentially became automatic. It had such a guaranteed to happen conversion rate that all drama was removed, all interest has been removed. And what are we doing? You might as well just say touchdowns are worth 7 points. What are we even doing with this extra point? It's ridiculous. No one misses them. They back it up to the 35 and it's a whole new dance, whole new ball game. So now all of a sudden, that play isn't a touchdown, I can go to the bathroom. You got to see whether or not that point after goes through, yes or no. This takes something that had become almost an automatic by design touchback and turns it into a play where a little football might happen. I'm okay with it. I'm also somebody who basically hates and fears change and I don't want to see it, but I don't got a problem with it at all. Meanwhile, down in Santa Clara, there is an awful lot of buzz about Brandon Aiyuk looking like a happy guy, feeling like a happy guy. Brandon Aiyuk was being jolly with Lynch and Shanahan, and they're high-fiving on the field, and every media member who was down at training camp is basically trying to see, is this good? Can't be bad. Guys who were not smiling are now smiling. This is good. What does it mean? Well, we still don't know. But, maybe it's a harbinger of something very close to being done. Maybe Brandon Aiyuk will be out on the practice field this weekend. 49ers are practicing on Saturday and Sunday as well. Maybe he is back out there next week. I think Monday is an off day, and then they get going on Tuesday. I don't know. But getting Brandon Aiyuk back out there wouldn't only be good for all involved. Think of the energy that would go through that locker room. You'd feel like the 49ers, basically, this is when Thanos finds the last Infinity Stone, right? I mean, this is the full assemblage of everyone is here. You get Trent Williams in there next, and now it's go win a Super Bowl time. So I love hearing that it feels like for the first time there might be some progress there. Still nothing official from anybody. But all the people who think they have an official voice in the conversation saw what happened and said, hey, that's pretty good. So maybe it happens. Maybe it happens during this show. I don't even know. Maybe it happens right now. But I do like the fact that it seems to be a little happiness sprinkled around. Because I'm sick and tired of talking about Brandon Aiyuk's holdout and contract to the point where I really never want to talk about it again. Cheat motion has been outlawed. Cheat motion is an actual phrase invented by Kyle Shanahan, and he might have he might be regretting saying that, because you're basically saying, yeah, we're trying to game the system here. We're looking for a little bit of a loophole. So what exactly is he saying? ProFootballTalk.com says last year, a new pre-snap technique began to spread through the NFL. This year, the NFL is trying to end it. Some called it speed motion. Kyle Shanahan actually called it cheat motion because it is cheating. Well, now it's official. That's cheating, and you can't do it anymore. These are an awful lot of the plays where you'd see Debo starting to like wrap around, starting, like it looked like almost a CFL play, but he never started going to the line of scrimmage, but he was in motion, and perpetual motion puts you into motion faster than being at a stop position. And I guess there must have been enough complaining around the NFL to where it's not allowed this year now. The key sentence added by the NFL to the rule book this year is Rule 7, Article 4, Section 2 of the official playing rules, which is a book at about this thick, by the way. But any eligible backfield player who changes his stance does not have to come to a complete stop prior to the snap, as long as his actions are not abrupt or forward, which is illegal motion. In other words, you can still have some razzle-dazzle, some eye candy, but they are going to be watching harder than ever before that you're basically not balking towards the line of scrimmage. So knowing that the 49ers are a team that adopted this and did this, it probably affects them more than most. The Miami Dolphins got into this, which makes sense because obviously that's Mike McDaniel. The Los Angeles Rams got into this too. That makes sense. Shanahan, McVay, McDaniel, these guys are always sitting on the cutting edge of offense. They run the offense that every other team in football is going to try to start copying soon enough. So it feels like the NFL tried to tamp down the illegal cheat motion that you see a guy like Deebo Samuel going to an awful lot in these games. So something to keep an eye on in the coming football season for sure. I don't know how we missed this week. This is big enough news to put on the show, especially with Trent Williams out and not having the right amount of money guaranteed to him that he wants right now to get him into camp. Again, it's all going to work out. There's no way the 49ers are going to have a year without Trent Williams. But Tristan Wirfs is a guy that was holding out in Tampa. There might be acrimony there. Maybe that's a possibility. Look, there's no way that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were ever going to trade Tristan Wirfs. You don't trade young Pro Bowl tackles. And Tristan Wirfs agreed to a 5-year, $140.63 million contract extension just this week that makes him the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history. Big cake for Tristan Wirfs. Again, every single you're really good at this player in football is now bare minimum a $20 million a year player. It's going to happen everywhere. To keep up with the demand of raising salary demands from players, the NFL is going to have to grow its cap. They're just going to have to. We live in a world now where, the old rule used to be, well, if your quarterback makes X percentage of your salary cap, no team with a quarterback making X percentage of a salary cap has ever won a Super Bowl, until Patrick Mahomes became the outlier in that. Well, we're talking about the halfway decent starting quarterbacks. If you're a halfway decent starting quarterback, you're at $30 million. And if you are a really good quarterback like Brock about to hit the market, you're going to be flirting with 60, 65. So the whole, well, you can't win a Super Bowl if your quarterback is taking up this percentage of your salary cap, like that number's going to have to change. It's just going to have to, because that's the price of doing business. So to look at that statistic, you got a wide receiver making this percentage, you got a quarterback making this percentage, you got a player making this percentage, you can't win a Super Bowl. All that math is about to change dramatically, for sure. For sure. Speaking of dramatic changes, today's the day that the Pac-12 officially died. I'm sorry to say it. Friday, August 2nd is the day that the Pac-12 has officially died. The Big Ten is officially reformed now. They put out the Game of Thrones-ish Big Ten commercial where they used to start going over all the Midwest campuses and then work their way out to frickin' Rutgers, who has no business in the conference. But there you go. They wanted that New York market. Not that anybody in New York is a flying you-know-what about Rutgers, but a very Game of Thrones where you got the geography, you got the cities kind of opening up and defining features of each campus would open up. The Big Ten put out a new video today that starts in Washington and Husky Stadium and then goes to Autzen and then down the California coastline to UCLA and USC. And then it hops over to what's the next school after that is Iowa. So, you gotta just gloss over a whole bunch of the country there. You get to Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, the rest of the Big Ten now. 18 teams in the Big Ten. It's insane, but here we are. It's the world we're living in because Larry Scott and the idiot presidents of the Pac-12 were a bunch of greedy sons of bitches who didn't understand the new market that they were walking into. How is the Pac-12 gone? How? Greed and stupidity. That's how. That's how. Seriously, Larry Scott and a handful of Pac-12 presidents who, by the way, who all still have their jobs, right? Larry Scott doesn't. He's gone. But all these Pac-12 presidents still have their jobs. Not only should they be fired, they should probably be brought out to like the campus quad and just, freaking shot or in front of everyone. I mean, these people should be beheaded for killing the Pac-12 because they thought that they were going to be the SEC or the Big Ten media deal just handed to them. Insane. Just freaking insane. I'm looking on a little bit of the chat as it walks on by. We'll hop into the chat. Sorry, that's not the one I wanted to bring up. But here, Mike Antics 19 says, no wake up today? Under. I guess you were betting on Sip of the Days. No, there was no wake up today because Larry was down at training camp and we'll be popping down there, I believe, someday next week as well. Getting to Levi Stadium, I used to call it Turkey on the 50, Turkey on the 87. Yeah, very good, Sporticus. Sporticus, listen, I'm sure to a lot of those I don't like Levi Stadium shows back in the day. Yeah. True Blue. Hey, is Cyrus coming back to talk for an Cyrus will be back. Cyrus and I are going to be doing stuff around basketball for sure this year. I love talking to Cyrus. I think we approach the same topic from two different directions. So maybe you'll find something you like in there. Speaking of approaching a topic from a new direction, we have a little bit of a correction of a portion of yesterday's show. When I was coming on the air, the internet was all aflutter about what was at that time being called a transitioning boxer having beaten the crap out of a biological Italian boxer, a woman, and, there was an awful lot of outrage. Postman. As a season ticket holder, D. Bruce crushes my soul every time he talks shit about Levi Stadium. He's always right, though. Sorry. Damon, the OG. Sorry. Anyway, apparently the woman is a woman who beat the other woman who's also a woman. What we have here is a genetic sampling where a woman is carrying around more XY chromosomes than any woman is allowed to normally have, but biologically, and I read a bit about this, you know what isn't binary? Biology. So I guess you can have spiked levels of testosterone in you as a biologically born woman. I don't know. I don't know if this is like the old word used to be, hermaphrodite or something like that. I don't know. I don't care. What I'm going to say about yesterday's show is this. Everything that I said about a transitioning man competing against women, I stand by it without apology, and I tried to make an argument that was an uninsulting, reasoned argument, and I hope you agree. An awful lot of you did. I've got some hate, chats in the meantime, and that's okay. It's a very touchy subject for people. But what I don't like getting is something wrong. I don't like being wrong, and that entire story, as it was presented to me as I hit the air, was wrong. After the fact, it became, here are the details. But the woman who got pummeled, if pummeled by a woman with no real, that was unfair about it, all of a sudden, that Italian woman is now apologizing profusely to the woman that she accused of doing this to her under the guise of this isn't even really a woman. So there's an awful lot of the Italian boxer has come out and said, I'm sorry that this erupted into something. Any media member worth their salt in any sort of, credibility standpoint is trying to reaffirm the story or recapture it based on the new information you got. I mean, here's the thing. When you got something wrong, you got to admit that you got it wrong. And apparently the world of sports got this one wrong. And then you start asking yourself, is there an agenda behind that? Is this the world that, is just constantly looking for culture war touch points that are going to set the internet ablaze because, there's a certain swath of America that isn't happy unless the internet is burning down. So, apologies. I still stand by everything that I said. I think from a sportsmanship standpoint, I got it right. But the details that led us to all these things were incorrect. So here we are, making corrections. Here's something to correct an injustice in the world of sports that was suggested. As you know, we've been doing a little like Today in Histories to sort of wrap up these shows. Today in History, Ryan Spader, who is fantastic. Ryan Spader goes by Ace of Spader on Twitter. If you're a baseball fan, you should be following him. He's got all sorts of interesting information. He said that today, August 2nd, 1881, something very unique happened in Major League Baseball. A guy named Abner Dalrymple of the Chicago White Stockings, who played in the National League back then, became the first, Abner Dalrymple became the first player known to receive an intentional base on balls with the bases loaded. That was 143 years ago today on August 2nd, 1881. Since then, it's only happened 8 times. There have been fewer intentional walks with the bases loaded than there have been perfect games, certainly no hitters. It's one of the rarest occurrences in all of baseball. It started in 1881 with Abner Dalrymple. Then in 1901, Nap Lajoie was walked with the bags loaded. In 1928, it happened to Del Bissonette. In 1929, it happened to Mel Ott. In 1944, it happened to Bill Nicholson. And then it didn't happen again until the late 90s. Barry Bonds walked with the bases loaded in 98. I believe Buck Showalter did that down when he was with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think that happened down in Arizona. In 2008, Josh Hamilton got that treatment. And in just 2022, Corey Seager got that treatment. Only 8 times in Major League history has a batter been walked with the bases loaded. So there you go. Now, having said all that, and having Barry Bonds' name just sort of invoked in that stat, I guess it got Ryan Spader thinking a little bit, because Spader then turned around and said, you know what? And tell me what you think of this. The Giants need to offer Barry Bonds a prorated league minimum deal and a chance to pinch hit in one game at the end of the season only to reset his Hall of Fame eligibility clock. In other words, he's not saying something stupid like, Barry Bonds, if the Giants signed him right now, he would be their DH and probably lead the team in home runs, which honestly, I mean, maybe, right? I mean, it's Skinny Barry. It's Bicycle Barry now. It's not Balco Barry anymore. But it is, Barry Bonds, there's no doubt he could still get out that sweet swing in a phone booth, and he could definitely put a ball in play right now without a single swing in a cage. I guarantee you Barry Bonds could step into a batter's box and still do damage right now. Right now. He's not saying anything ridiculous, though, like the Giants should sign him to be an everyday presence in this lineup. But he is saying, and I think he's right, they should sign him for one game to pitch hit once just to restart his eligibility clock. Because if we're playing the fuck you game about steroids, which Major League Baseball is trying to do at its highest level, at the level of the Hall of Fame, the Giants should play it too. Because the only thing that needs to happen for Barry Bonds to get into the Hall of Fame is a bunch of crusty, oldest group of Major League Hall of Fame voters to die off, to go away. I would do it. If Barry wanted it done, I would do it. I would do it. Sign Barry Bonds to a one-day, one-at-bat, prorated veteran minimum contract. And I would restart his Hall of Fame clock. Just to fuck with the Hall of Fame. I really would. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. So there you go. You know, when I see something and I think this could happen, I like talking about it. I like that idea. I really do. Which brings me to the conclusion of our show here on YouTube today. Again, please hit like and subscribe if you dug anything you saw. It helps an awful lot. You want to go ahead and hit notifications. You won't miss a thing. And indeed, memberships are available to those who are interested in memberships. I saw we had a special membership. Where did it go? Where did it go? Somebody just had a, hey, I've been a member for how many months? Where is, there it is. Look it, right here. Clarence Beeks has been a member for 4 months, a part of the initiated. Damon, Uncle Boys? No, Uncle Boys is no longer a sponsor. We knew that they couldn't be, just sponsoring in perpetuity because they're just a small local business. But I'll tell you right now, we love Uncle Boys. I love Uncle Boys. I might go get a burger this weekend at Uncle Boys. But thanks for asking. And thanks for watching, and thanks so much for paying attention that you're asking about sponsors that you haven't seen on the show in months. But yeah, they had a campaign on the show. They were one of the original sponsors of the show, and I got love for Uncle Boys in my heart forever. And I also like cheeseburgers. I'm not the kind of guy who will watch a movie and then give you all the plot points and spoil it for you. But I am the guy that if you're sitting on the couch with me, watching a movie for the first time with me, there's a very good chance I'm going to identify who the killer is, what the twist is going to be several hours before the movie does. Like I start reverse engineering every single movie I'm watching it, and upon my first watch all the time, I'm always looking for well, you see that detective over there? That's going to really be the killer. That guy's going to be the killer. This person is a little too famous to play such a bit role, which means they're going to pop back up in the final third of this movie as the actual killer or whatever, or, the X marks the spot, plot point, character twist. I tell you all of that to tell you this. Today was the first intentional walk in Major League history. Today, in 1999, the movie The Sixth Sense opened. That film grossed $26.6 million its opening weekend, and it spread like wildfire because everyone was like, oh my God, it's one of the all-time best twists. Spoiler alert. One of the all-time best twists ever. The movie's 25 years old now. If you haven't seen it by now, it's clearly not a priority for you. But it's the second film after Titanic in 1997 to have grossed more than $20 million a weekend for 5 straight weekends. M. Night Shyamalan had a freaking hit on his hands with The Sixth Sense, and it was great. It was really good. Unless you were sitting in the movie with me like one of those opening nights where literally as soon as Bruce Willis gets shot, I turned to the girl that I was with at the time and I said, I bet she's dead. I bet she's dead and he's a ghost in this movie. I'm sorry. I'm wired to be looking, I've always used to say the whole world's fascinated by shapes and colors. I'm looking for angles. And that to me was just like, oh, this is going to be the angle. This is the twist. I bet she's dead. Like I said it joking. I didn't know. And then sure enough, that was it. So I ruined that movie for anyone who was in earshot and the girl that I was dating at the time. I see these things coming. What can I tell? I see dead people. So I kind of called it. Still a really good movie, but I called that one. But there you go. Sixth Sense, 25 years old today. Finally, you know that you have some Olympics to enjoy. You know that you got the Giants starting a 7-game East Coast road trip. You know that it's going to be a weekend that hopefully turns into big, bright, sunny, and you get outside and you're not attached to your couch and you're not stuck indoors the entire weekend. But if you are, the Ocho is there to save you. Apparently, and I don't know why ESPN would choose to do this during an Olympics. Like, you should do your Ocho programming during the there ain't nothing going on times. The Olympics is enough to go on. I don't think Ocho is really counter-programming to the Olympics, but the Ocho is all of the absurd stuff, like slippery stair races and pumpkin seed spitting, cherry pit spitting contests, horseshoe, friggin' all sorts of nonsense, like stuff that you would play drunk at a barbecue, taken to its professional level, is what the Ocho is. So it's an Ocho weekend, and I don't know if they've already shown these, but there are a few events that caught my eye. Okay, so here are your 3, maybe pay attention to them, Ocho events for over the weekend if you are stuck inside on a couch. Behold the majesty of the Roofball World Championships. The Roofball World Championships, the 24th playing of the World Championships competition to determine who's the best at flinging a football at a natural gas vent. This will be contested in the birthplace of Roofball's invention, which apparently is Willis Park in Beaverton, Oregon. So there you go, where they invented Roofball on that highly sacred field or lawn, I guess. That's where they'll be contending the 24th playing of the Roofball World Championships. There is also the 2024 Hamlin Adult Big Wheel Races. 10 teams compete in a relay-style adult big wheel race to win the coveted Hamlin Golden Wheelie Trophy. The Golden Wheelie Trophy is right up there with the Stanley Cup, the Borg Warner Trophy, which of course they give to the winner of the Indianapolis 500. One of the truly great trophies there is, the coveted Hamlin Golden Wheelie Trophy. But yeah, adults racing big wheels. Relay style. I want to see a little off-roading. I'd like to see a jump portion. I'd like to, go ahead. A steeplechase. I'm in. Finally, the thing that I think I would be most interested in is Ultimate Tire Wrestling. Ultimate Tire Wrestling. 2 big tractor tires, 2 skilled wrestlers, 1 goal. Stuff 51% of your opponent into the tire. Is there a replay official looking for that 51st percent? I mean, can you cheat a little? Like if you only got 52% in and you got a bad home plate umpire, will it not be called out? I don't know. How do you judge if 51% of that person is in the tire? Are we doing 51% of body weight? 51% of what I can see? Is it visibility? Is it mass? How do we judge if 51% of you is in that tire or not? Like if you've got really skinny legs and both your legs are in the tire, but from the waist up, you're not, is 50% of you in that tire? I think I need an official tire wrestling official or a tutorial here to really know about it. But maybe if you watch the Ocho this weekend, you'll be given all the information you need. Can you bet on this stuff? Can I go to BetUS and bet on the Ocho? I don't know. I didn't look for that. But any betting that you want to do, make sure you check out the link in today's show's description and use that as you sign up for BetUS. Thanks so much to Ike's. Thanks so much to the Dubliner and West Portal. And thanks to all of you who are watching on YouTube or listening to the Damon Bruce Plus podcast. If you're a podcaster, this is where we're going to say thanks so much and have a great weekend. If you're on YouTube, we're hopping into Club Plus right here and now. So thank you so much for listening. And please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Squeaky disco ball. Yeah. By the way, Jillian, I think she's working on new disco ball technology to eventually get into the program. So be warned. You now know. All right. Let's start. Oh, we'll go all the way back to the beginning of the show. Danny Golding TV says, I think the design of Levi's would have worked good if it was located in the old site of Candlestick. It was designed for the views, but it doesn't work well at the Santa Clara site. Maybe. But my problem is the erector set design that they wanted, that they were going for. You know, what does your stadium need? It needs some walls. I don't know. Maybe the views would have been great from that 400 level seeing downtown San Francisco. I don't think look at it this way. The stadium's location is a problem, Danny, but I don't think the right location would have saved that stadium. By the way, a lot of smiling at the Olympics last night. How great was Simone Biles? Just ask Smiley Dan or Simone Biles. She was ear to ear. I bet you Smiley Dan was ear to ear, feeling safe, feeling good. Joe Schmo says, Levi's feels like it was built overnight. A new stadium in California was a pipe dream at the time. They rushed it. They botched it. And it feels like that way a little bit too. Again, when you see what has happened in stadia design since that place was built, you can't help but think they missed the mark. Leslie says, how is cheat motion differentiate from a pump fake? Please answer. All right, well, motion is you are, moving towards the line of scrimmage before the ball is snapped. You don't want that level of cheat motion where the guy who's doing the little curl behind you in the backfield is now starting to sort of round off that curl heading towards that line of scrimmage, where a pump fake is a quarterback trying to, trick linebacker and safety eyeballs. So one is moving an entire body. The other is just an arm fake. Leslie, thank you for watching. There are no stupid questions. You are in a safe place. Let's see. Rob in the Bay says he's worth it. What, Brandon Aiyuk? Trent Williams? Tristan Wirth? I don't know. But all those guys are good. So, yeah, they should get paid. They probably do. Sean Turner says, look, I have been to Levi Stadium twice. Wasn't that impressed. There's a lot of people. Again, Levi Stadium has a lot of one-time customers. You go, you realize it's kind of a ripoff. Wasn't that great? And you're like, I think I'm going to watch Niners games at home now. for a time before the Niners were just like, booking trips to Super Bowls on the reg. There was a time there when if you were a PSL original day they opened the stadium investor, that the seats at Levi Stadium, which you owned, were the only property in the Bay Area losing value. That's how much of that of a massive dud on arrival that place was. I can see people get into their emotions about the Pac-12, and why wouldn't you? It's such a shame, Albert. It's such a shame. Rob in the Bay, rest in peace to the Pac-12. I am Otis. I am still sad about the Pac-12. How could you not be? I mean, look, I really believe that if we could snap our fingers, everybody involved, snap our fingers and go back in time and undo it, we would. No one wants this. No one wants this. And Otis, you're right. The Big Ten really is coast to coast. It's absurd. It's absurd. The Pac-12 dying during the Olympics is the worst time because the Pac-12 has the most Olympic medals so far in Paris. You see, Steve, did you see the ACC try to claim Katie Ledecky's medal? I mean, this is a Stanford woman through and through, and the ACC is like, congratulations to Katie Ledecky on her Olympic. Come on. ACC now claiming Olympic medals because they come from Cal and Stanford, two campuses that produce more Olympians than basically any two campuses in America. Brock Purdy couldn't even make it to the 99 club. Ian, he's not a 99. No, he's not Patrick Mahomes. There should be one guy standing in the 99 club, and it's Patrick Mahomes. And that's the only quarterback in the NFL who should be rated 99. Larry Scott. Oh, we're at the angry Pac-12 fans portion of the show here. Sean Turner. Pac-12 network was the dumbest. It was look at it this way. The TV deal that couldn't materialize is why the Pac-12 broke up. The fact the Pac-12 network never materialized anywhere you could see it as they were clawing for more relevancy on television. Yeah, that was a huge... The Pac-12 network was like the cancer that metastasized and killed the conference because they didn't know how to get their eyeballs on their conference. SF Indigo. Oh, I'm getting off the bus with you here, SF Indigo. College sports are boring? Not at all. I love college sports. I love college football and basketball. Doesn't need to be Indiana either. I love the pageantry. Love the pageantry of tradition-rich programs and rivalries and student sections and bands. I love it. I love the atmosphere of a college football game 1,000,000 times more than the atmosphere of an NFL game. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah, nobody carried the Pac-12 network, so you couldn't see again. The amount of times the Pac-12 said no to decent money in the name of never saying yes to great. You can't hold out from decent looking for better, never get better, and then have your entire conference dissolved and say, yeah, we did a bang-up job there. Just gross. Let's see. Eat it, Ikes. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of, is that a man or a woman? We go back to the original Pat from Saturday Night Live. It's Pat. Kevin Harper says, thanks for the retraction on this. Well, again, Kevin, we're looking to get it right. The information that I was given at the time I was dealing with it said this is a transgendered athlete, and we saw the internet pick that up and run with it. This isn't the first time. This is not the first time that the internet has picked up something on that topic and has tried to, go to war with it. Again, we're at Clarence Beeks, becoming a member for 4 months. Thank you very, very much, Clarence. It means an awful lot. You really help the show by becoming a member, but liking, subscribing means an awful lot. It means an awful lot, and thank you very, very much. Mike says, why can't they put a proper roof on Levi's? Or Levis in this case. But no, I know what you mean. Because one, it's too close to the airport. And then there's that little waterway that runs. And that's where the posts for any sort of coverage would have to go into that waterway. Again, they built the place on the cheapest land that they could buy at the time. They didn't build the place in the right place to address the major concerns of Candlestick. Candlestick's biggest concern was, there's not enough luxury suites to sell. And entrance and egress are nightmares. So they built their new stadium with even worse entrance and exit points. I don't get it. And you can't make it any better. You can't clean it up because of that airport. So, great times. A lot of people talking about looking for a Skinny Pirate Berry to come on back, Joe Schmo. Yeah, bring back Skinny Pirate Berry Bonds. Yeah, rarest stat in baseball. 2 grand slams in the same inning by Fernando Tatis, and 2 Johnny Vandermeer back-to-back no-hitters. Yeah, no one's ever going to throw a third no-hitter in a row. That's for sure. Lucky Luciano says, can you get Dieter on here? What do you mean, from Sprockets? Dieter from Sprockets. Now he dance, touching my mung. No, I'm sure you mean Dieter Kurtenbaugh. Yeah, I got to reach out to Dieter. I always liked his work. I know he's been doing stuff with Larry lately. I think they're good together. I like Dieter an awful lot. Damon, pump out more videos. Hey, baby, it's coming. It's coming. Apparently, Mike Antics is also a harbinger of what is to come in movies. Same here. My wife hates watching movies with me. I'm sorry. I think of where's the twist everywhere I look. Where is the twist? Here's a theory from Rob K. If the person does not have an iPhone, they're the killer. Bad guys are not allowed to use iPhones per Apple. It ruins quite a few movies. You're welcome. You're kidding. Is there really something in there where a bad guy can't use an iPhone? Really? I did not know that. That is news to me. Total news to me. I did not. Nathaniel Richards says, same friend spoiled the Fight Club for me, too. Yeah. Hey, this is all imagination. What else we got going on here? Got Kenny 49ers saying the screenwriters make it so you're supposed to know what happens at the end of the movie in the first 15 minutes. Really? Why? I'll tell you, the reason why I think to this day, other than the fact it is a great movie with great performances in it all over, the reason why I have so much reverence for The Usual Suspects is because the Kaiser Soze twist got me. It got me. And I was like, oh my God, it was there all along. And I was looking at it and I'm right here looking at it and it still snuck it past me. And it's hard sneaking movies past me. And that's why I love that movie so much. It got me. As soon as Bruce Willis gets shot, I'm like, oh, he's dead. Damon, big wheel racing on Easter Sunday on the most windy street in San Francisco, which is Vermont, not Lombardy, is pretty amazing. Do they do that? Do they do that? That's fantastic. Oh, here we go. Smiley Dan is saying, Damon, Hawkeye technology will tell you when 51% of the body is inside the tire. Yeah, Hawkeye technology is going to talk us through, is that a first down or not? And they're going to be finally weighing in on was that or was that not 51% of a human in the tire. That is fantastic. That's the funniest comment of the week. Hawkeye technology is going to track that for us. Smiley does want to know, Damon, a new disco ball, will the old one be sent to the Smithsonian, sitting right next to Archie Bunker's chair or Fonzie's jacket? The new disco ball, should we replace the old disco ball, the squeaky disco ball? I want it to go right to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and sit in the lobby. So you walk past the fish hot dog and there's Damon's disco ball right there. So hopefully that's what comes of it. Clarence, thank you very much. He's dropping today's super chat. Thank you very much, Clarence. Ike's, anyone? Sounds like a great idea. Get to Ike's, get to Ike's. Get to Ike's, get to Ike's. Chris Topher says, Damon, you finally got under Grant's skin enough that he called you out. Again, he just said, I fucking hate Damon so much. Great. Good. I don't like that guy. I'm glad that I keep him up at night because I don't think of him at all. And what's so funny is that Grant Cohn thinks, he's so upset at me because he thinks I stole the title of the video when it's some innocuous, completely unoriginal comment like good and bad of 49ers training camp practice. The title that he's so mad at, I had nothing to do with. My friend Chris, who runs the production company, who does an awful lot of my videos, is the one who came up with that title. I had nothing to do with it. So Grant Cohn is having a hissy about me, and I had nothing to do with what set him off, which just shows you what a totally fragile, unhappy, nervous, scared little boy he really is. The only thing better than being under someone's skin that bothers you is being under someone's skin you never even think of. I live rent-free between Grant's ears. I don't watch a single thing he does, not a single video that he posts, so I wouldn't know how to rip him off. Because I don't consume people who are galactically wrong about everything they see. I cover a lot of sports. I'm really not wrong about too many of them, but if I am, it's because I'm trying to do 15 things at once, and I just can't know everything. One topic, and he's completely wrong about it all of the time. So, watch whatever you want, whatever entertains you on YouTube. I don't care. But it is nice to know that I keep that punk up at night. Grant Cohn. He's like, if Nickelback could be a person, it would be Grant Cohn. That stupid chain that he wears, he looks like the front row at a Nickelback concert. And I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you do. I hope you have a really good weekend this weekend. Jack turns 5 tomorrow. Oh my God. The first of 24, 28 goodie bags was prepared for Jack's birthday party at school. So there's 24 goodie bags right there. Then the boys are going to have a joint birthday party, middle of the boys' birthday. There's another, 40 goodie bags right there. And then we're going to have Ozzy's goodie bags, which is another 24 goodie bags. We're basically, my wife and I are going to be about 100 children goodie bags deep by the end of this month. So in my free time, I'm stuffing goodie bags. Super chat from Lucien Lachance IV. Thank you very much for the super, Lucien. If Levi Stadium was built on Candlestick Point or along Bay, would they have changed people's views on the stadium? I don't know how people would have felt about it. I don't know how much different people would have felt about it, but I think people would have liked being in San Francisco at the end of the game instead of being in Santa Clara. Because if you're in Santa Clara, you're officially, there's nothing to do. So, yeah, I mean, I think it would play a little bit better, but no, that stadium is so wrong in so many ways. I don't think putting the wrong stadium in the right location saves that stadium. Rob in the Bay. He never made it as a wise man. Seriously. If a Nickelback album could be a human being, it would be Grant Cohn. Everybody, have a terrific weekend. Thank you so much for stopping on by. It's always great hanging out with you. I'm privileged to have you in the little circle of love. I really am. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify, become a member. Go to the link, BetUS. If you're going to be gambling, use that link. Sign up for BetUS. It is fantastic. You'll be very happy that you did, and you can play along with a little bit of betting that we'll be doing each and every Friday on a Big Bet Friday going forward. Thanks to them for being a sponsor. Thanks to Ike's. Thanks to the Dubliner. Thanks to all of you. That's why it breaks my heart to let you know that you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here.